Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to show you basically how I entered this trade, which will pop up somewhere, which gave me around 8 grand with 2 entries. I'm not fully sure how long it was. I think it was a couple of hours long, thereabouts, but yeah. So let's roll the intro and I'll show you why I entered this trade. Right guys, I'm back. So I'm going to show you why I entered this trade that gave me around 8 grand profit. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold and I've not long woke up. It's Friday, we've got big news today. I don't think I'm going to trade, so I thought I'd have a bit of a lie-in. But yeah, let's crack on. So obviously I was buying in technically a sell market, and I'll show you exactly why. So let's get on with it. And we'll start on the daily, just show you what I've seen on the daily. Let's get rid of this very high supply area. So obviously lower lows, lower highs, whatnot. You know that bit, right? So your last swing move was from this point to this point here. So we're actually buying into the green area, which is the discount, and we've actually tapped it. So we had pulled back, but we'd not pulled back and took the medium time frame out. But what I did see was this trend line. So we've got 1 touch there, we've got 2 touch here, and we've got obviously a 3rd touch. And those of you who know, obviously if you've learnt retail before smart money, you know where retail thinks, and I did the exact same. I learnt retail, I learnt trend line touches, support resistance and all that malarkey. And I've now learnt where that trader is waiting. So I know that on this daily trend line, people were waiting for their sell, can't even think of the word, basically for their sells to trigger, and also for a return to the trend line and then to sell again on the return of maybe like a double top. But I was obviously looking, once we've took that trend line liquidity out, I was looking to then reverse the market. And this is exactly what happened. The camera keeps going out of focus. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Well, you don't want me too close to you, but yeah. Anyway, guys. So yeah. So I realised that we took out the trend line liquidity. So then, what does the market do? It reverses, and that's where it takes all the retail money out, and everyone gets pissed off because they think they had the right direction when really it was all being manipulated. So yeah, trend line liquidity took. That's tick number 1. In fact, I don't like this too close. Right, that's tick number 1. Is trend line liquidity on the daily took. Obviously higher highs there, and we were approaching it, and because we had already tapped into the discount, I thought maybe we're going to return and then sell. So maybe next week or the next couple of weeks we'll be looking at sales over here somewhere, I imagine. But anyway, so drop down to the 4 hour, and obviously guys, like and subscribe. I like doing videos for you. I want y'all to like and drop a comment, you know, if this helps you or whatnot. I've got the bar replay on as well, so if you're looking at this and you're thinking, it's not even played out yet, I've got the bar replay on. So the other thing was we had a trend line. We had a load of liquidity there. Round about there, give or take. That's a 4 hour trend line. So we're on the 4 hour trend line at the minute. We're on the 4 hour time frame, sorry. This is a 4 hour trend line. Second confluence, we're looking to take it out. It's touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and kind of 6 there. So we've had loads of breaks on this trend line. So I was looking to basically shoot through this trend line, smash all the retail money out the park, rinse the retail basically. That's the story of smart money, and this kind of way of trading is to rinse the retail. So yeah, 4 hour trend line ready to take. But obviously we have took this. So let me do the drawing. when I can find it. So this whole scenario down here looks like this. So that's the big impulse there. Then we've had a bit of a buy to sell, and we've actually took, there was this grey candle is here, this is the buy to sell, and we've actually took the high of that. So I was looking, now we took the trend line out, I was looking potentially for buys from this point. I know really like you should wait for the swing, the mid-range swing to get took, which was that. But I like to try and get in as early as possible and not predict. Well, I suppose it is slightly predict, but obviously you want your analysis to back you up. So the next thing I did was, this is the swing. And we were getting into discount here, so I was a bit wary. So let's drop to the 15 minute and it will all become a little bit clearer. So the push down that really took the final sweep was, I wanted this. This was actually in balance as well. If I zoom in, you can see. Let's go bigger screen as well. I don't know why I've not gone bigger screen. But this is in balance on, I think, on the 1 minute time frame. And as you can see, we responded from this imbalance and we dropped down. Let's get rid of that one. I don't think that's needed. Yeah, so we tapped in. So I was being wary, and I actually wanted. So I didn't really want to get up there. I wanted to take this sweep out. I wanted to take this because there's a lot of money there. So I was effectively waiting for this to do something like this, and then I could enter, around about here. But it didn't do that. So the next thing was, if it doesn't do that, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for a break of structure. So the lower time frame structure, not the entry structure, the lower time frame structure, the lower time frame boss break of structure was, in fact, this is a buy boss now, because if that breaks, I'm then looking for buys only. This is the 15 minute area. This is a big swing 15 minute. That gets broke. So let's just forward it a little bit. Right, boom. That's broke. And obviously here we've got this 4 hour, we've got this 4 hour trend line there. So, and we'd already touched it, like I say, 6 or 7 times. So we wanted to smash through this bloody trend line, yeah? We wanted to smash through that. And I'll show you where I was targeting it as well, and I actually took out earlier as well, but we'll go through that in a bit. So, break of structures happened. Right, now I'm looking for buys. So, then what I put on is the swing, the new 15 minute swing. So that one touched the imbalance and then it came back into the discount area. Yes, it left liquidity, which I was very wary of I don't know what the word is, but I was a bit cautious of this liquidity zone because it can just drop down, and I was worried with big news it might just take that liquidity and shoot up. And there is some big news today, which, mind you, is too far up, but it might, you never know, it might swing down and get that. But either way, that's the next day. So break of structure, great. We're looking at buys. So then I can't remember. I think I entered on. Oh no, that was it. Sorry, yeah. So now we broke it. What I do is I keep putting this up there, and if it breaks that high, then I'll move it higher. So let's see what the next candle is. So the next candle's there. So we push that there. Then we actually tap the trend line, and we get a lot of retail. So a lot of retail now are entering on the trend line for sells. They'll have that just above there. They'll be down here somewhere. They'll probably go for the low. This gets took out. I'm going to remove it because I don't want to confuse you guys. So then we've got a bearish candle. Then we're slightly higher. So we'll move this slightly higher. Bearish candle, doesn't break that high yet, so I'm thinking we're coming down for a sell. And this is where news starts. It was red news. You could trade it, you could trade this news, but it was a bit iffy. But we'd actually tapped into the demand area. So I was very interested now, because this little swing point from here to the top of this red, that's been tapped into green. discount. This area has now tapped into green. So I thought, you know what? So I actually dropped down to a lower time frame. So I can't remember exactly the time frame. I'm not sure if it was 7 minute or... But either way, so we tapped in, and yes, there's imbalance, but we were making moves and there was a lot of liquidity, like this close. There was so much money on this line, so close from here. So I dropped an entry straight in. I'm not sure which candle. Yeah, it might have been after that candle closed. I thought, you know what? I dropped 2 entries in, 14 whatever lots, whatever you've seen on the screen earlier. I dropped an entry. You can see the entry points the exact same. It should be anyway. But yeah, so because this was an actual trade I took, and then yeah, there was a bit of news as well after. But at the point, so my pips, by the way, guys, is 12 pips, 2 trades, 12 pip stop losses, 1% risk on each. Then we started making higher highs. We tapped here again. I'm not sure if we've responded. Yeah, so more liquidity being formed. So trend line sellers will be selling here as well. Plus it might be a double top for them. And obviously this for smart money would have been took out as well because they'd be trading. This is a supply area. And a lot of smart money, myself included, that's a nice supply area to sell because this broke the low. But because of the higher time frame, you have to paint the picture. So obviously we know from daily what's happening. We know from the 4 hour what's happening or what should happen. And now we're on the 15 minute and we're making higher highs. This was probably my perfect kind of entry trade. I almost regret not getting in earlier, but that's just the way of the market. So we rejected from here. We gave the smart money early buyers a bit of a chance to kind of think that they're in the market. Then what happened was straight through the smart money. And then we triggered, obviously some people trigger the trend line that way. But because there was so much volume along this line, this just powered through. This powered through, and so let me go back one actually. So let's just remove. Oh, hang on. Let me just remove this one. So sorry about that, guys. So yeah, what happened was soon as it got to about here, I had a figure in my mind what I wanted to take, and obviously that figure was around 4k per trade. And instead of the risk of losing all that money, I decided to manually close it. Now it's up to you if you have a take profit bit and you let it play out or you trail your stop loss. I did have a target here. It was 3.5 R each, so 7 R total. But I didn't want to get too greedy because that's bit me in the past. So soon as I don't know without looking at my phone exactly where the point was. I think it was around about there somewhere. That as soon as it hit that, I decided to manually take. Yeah, I manually took profit. I believe it was around about here. So it shot up because that was the second news that I was on about a minute ago. The second news shot up in the direction that it's going because it just adds volume and takes liquidity, more liquidity. So we shot up to that. I manually closed it, and then yeah, that's basically it, to be fair. And then it started to sink, and I was like, well, I'm glad I closed it. But then it turns out it eventually smashed through the target anyway, and it's until now, which is 10:40 a.m. the day after, it's gone all the way. Let me just play it out. So yeah, it shot up, and then yeah, I'll let it play on while I'm talking. But yeah, so even to about here, it would have given me another 5 grand. But it's all could have, would have, should haves. And obviously you can't get too greedy. I was very happy with what I got from the market. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did look to see if there was any second entries. But it wasn't. It just shot off, which is fine because I was in it and I took what I wanted from it. Obviously, if I wasn't in it, I'd be annoyed that I couldn't get an entry. but it is what it is. But yeah, that's how I did it, guys. I mean, hopefully it's relatively clear. So I mean, I'll just break down over it dead quick. So daily trend line liquidity has been took. We know that we tapped into the discount of the overall swing anyway. 4 hour trend line, we were aiming to take the liquidity because, as you know, we've took the daily trend line and we wanted to reverse it back and then take the 4 hour trend line, and that was the biggest part of it for me. And the other thing as well, which I didn't actually mention, was I wanted to take this high out, which was, I think that was the daily high. Yeah, that was the daily high. This candle here, which looks clear on the 4 hour, this blue line, let's make it a bit thicker. That blue line that's why I targeted there, because I wanted to take the high out for the day, and by the end of yesterday's play, I wanted to take the last swing high out, which shows me that we could be buy bias for a bit. We might drop down into this and then buy, you know, this kind of week, this next week coming. But yeah, so that's basically it, guys. We had about 4 or 5 confluences. As long as you've got more than, I'd say more than 3 really, 2 to 3 confluences. If it's any less than that, don't enter the trade. Obviously, I've done it before and probably do it again, but try and stick to your rules as much as possible. But yeah, so hopefully that's pretty clear for you guys. Drop me a like and subscribe. My name's on the screen somewhere, or has been on. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. Now I've just got to figure out how to stop this. But yeah, thanks again, guys.